Hey guys, what's up? It's Keeps here, and we're back with another episode of the Blackburn Rovers Road to Glory series. It's been a little while since the last episode, a couple of days, so we thought you'd bring us up to speed with a couple of games we've played so far, and then we'll play the whole game to finish off the episode. So I guess we'll just start looking at pre-season. Well, all the results are here, but as you can see, pre-season was really good. Conceding 3 goals in all those games is really good. Partizan probably around the same level as we're looking at. Antwerp, they're in the Belgian Pro League, so that was a good result. Slipped up to Partick away, at home even, sorry. They were 2 late goals. It was rather disappointing with that one, but the games following certainly pretty good. We then started the season off with a 1-0 win over Charlton. As you can see, the stats were completely in our favour, and Derek Williams scored in the 53rd minute. It was quite disappointing. We didn't score by more, win by more even. But a win's a win. But sadly, first away game of the season was not how we wanted it to go. Tom Kearney scored a good free kick early on. We had a quick reply through Bradley Dack, but Anthony Knockaert got a rebound in, and that was that for that game. As you can see again, we created more chances, we had more on target, slightly higher possession, but it was an overall even game. Some of our shots there came from rebounds or a free kick, and then a rebound from that. So a lot of it's probably more buffed because of those certain scenarios that happened that we all experienced throughout FM. The transfer window is now over, so I'll have a look at the team. We have now changed tactic going into this next game. I felt that everything was a bit too slow with the possession, and I felt that we've got the players to play a more progressive game. So we are playing a custom variant of a tiki-taka that I've used, 4-2-3-1. So we will try that out. It's not, I wouldn't say, as you can see the stats, that we're performing particularly bad with the control possession tactic. However, I felt that everything was a bit too slow with maybe the quality of players that the way it worked was Niamb went forward, Downing would have tucked in, and Dak would have went up front along with Armstrong. The way that it was working in this is Niamb was staying back, but Adebayo was moving in behind him. Bell was coming narrow, so it was never a 3 at the back. It was always a 4 with one more progressed kind of thing. So this area was left really open just because we weren't set up in a 3, we were more set up in a 5 when we had the ball, so that wasn't working too well. So reverting to this gives it an overall better shape. It puts Holtby in a better position. We've brought John Buckley into the team. He'll get his first start, and still keeping Dak with a shadow striker, and we're moving Rothwell and Downing, switching them, and then that was it. So as we said in the last video, there was a couple of areas that we wanted to strengthen going into it, but we had very limited funds, so we sadly did not get a lot. We got in a couple, 3 loan players, so we brought in Yasser Larouci from Liverpool. He's not the best, but he's got good potential, and I felt that he would have been just good cover as we don't have many strong wingers. The exact same with Peter Gorgas, only Gorgas is slightly better, in terms of his stats. But again, he's just been brought in for cover. We're paying less than his full wages a week for both of them. The one that we have brought in to, actually play is George Hurst. He plays with Leicester in real life. He's a big guy, target man, 6'3". He's got decent stats, 13 finishing. He'll be pretty good against some teams. Some teams will just decide to leave him out. But again, we just brought in these loans to strengthen the team overall because we only had 1 million to work with. But we did make one permanent signing, and that was, as bad as it is to say for me, Wes Fodringham from Rangers. They did transfer list him, and we got him for, I think it was 400,000-ish. So, overall, can't be too disappointed with that. He is a pretty decent keeper at the end of the day for this level. If we get promoted to the Premiership, it would definitely again be an area that we look to strengthen, which wasn't ideal. I would have preferred that, going to the Prem with a keeper that I would have been happy with, at least with the first season with. But, if he can, pull us through this season with a couple of big saves that he's already made as well, in some of the games, then we'll take what we can. So this is how the team's set up. We've went with at that deep line playmaker. We have used Downing the first two games, but I felt he was just lacking something. I couldn't quite pinpoint it, but I feel like Holtby was passing, his vision, things like that. It would just be that bit better in that role, and then Buckley in at the Mazzala role, who we could switch them about. Holtby is more than capable of going in and playing that Mazzala role, and Buckley's better at the deep line playmaker. However, I just felt that with the stats of Holtby and the way that I want this formation to play out, it would much suit a more technical player, deep line playmaker, rather than Mazzala, because Buckley's going to get forward, he's going to support Downing, he's going to support Dak, the two more technical players in that area, so he can just be, a go-to player, and he's got decent shooting stats and things, so, he can always get in a couple of goals when needed. Looking forward, we do have a couple of big games coming up. We've got Middlesbrough, Cardiff, and West Brom. Obviously we've played Fulham. That's a big challenge at the top. Middlesbrough, Hull, Cardiff, West Brom, all these four teams that we've got next are teams that you'd expect to be in and about those playoff places. So, it's a big couple of weeks for us. And also the Carabao Cup at home to Hull, so we've got them twice within a couple of weeks. So it's as I say, it's not ideal, but it's a good way to test us, and it's straight into the fire as far as the season goes. We do have a couple of injuries to talk about. Elliot Bennett and Yasser Larouci. Elliot Bennett, he's the captain of the team. I do intend to maybe bring him in at some point, depending on the formation we play. We might switch to a 4-4-2, and he would really suit that. But right now, he's not in my mind. Hopefully, maybe looking to offload him January, maybe even wait to the summer when we go up, depending on the money we get. But we have had a couple of injury issues so far, but hopefully we can get over them. But as I said before, we did have a small team. If you take away those three loan players that I've brought in, that's a really small squad that we have. So the three loan players, yes, they're not maybe up to the standard, but you play plenty of FM games to know that you bring a 20-year-old striker in like George Hurst, he plays a game, he scores 3 goals. He doesn't score any next game, but those 3 goals have got you 3 points. And in a championship playoff race, that could mean the world to us by the end of the season. So without any further ado, we'll go on. We'll just play the full game, key highlights only, and I'll just kind of talk you through it as we go, similar to the Leipzig series when we played certain games. So this is the starting 11. These are the tactics. By the way, drop a comment down if you want any of the tactics you used within the series, because I will try and change it up a lot. We're just training the one just now, but I will change it up a fair bit, just because it's the kind of player I am at the game, as you've seen with tactical videos I've done in the past. But if you want me to show you any of the tactics used, leave a comment down below, and I will put them in the description of the next episode. And I'll be sure to make sure that everyone knows, and you'll get a shout out in that video as well. So looking at it, it's a pretty even setup. Hull have went with a 4-1-2-2-1 or a 4-3-3, and we've went with a 4-2-3-1. So in terms of formation, we are matched up pretty well. I really think that Brad Dack is going to do well to get the best of Jackson Irvine. I've seen him in person before. He's a very good player, but if he can get the best of him, then that little triangle there could be a good matchup. James Scott again, seen him in person. He's a pretty good winger. He can be a striker as well, so he'll be a threat coming in on that right side. So Bell will have his work cut out, I'd imagine. And a pretty solid defence with long and goals is pretty good. But hopefully we've got enough to get through to the next round. This one, I'll just do the assistant manager for the start of the game, and we'll see how we go on. So we're hoping that this is a lot more fast-paced, this tactic, rather than the last one, which was a bit slow, a bit tentative. They weren't really wanting to progress through the thirds an awful lot. They were wanting to go side to side, which is a control of possession trait, but not the way that I was wanting to play with the team. So as you can see, we're getting some shots off just now. A lot of possession, a lot of shots for the first half an hour. So we're doing well. Started the game well. We just need to try and push on and get a goal, which has sometimes been a trouble for us, as you've seen, only 2 goals in 2 games. Well, there you go. the tactic that I have used, I've got my own custom corners, my own custom throw-ins, and my own custom free kicks on, and that's one of them that's worked. Not normally work as well as that, but you know, it leaves it open for defenders to make mistakes like that. Again, here's the custom corner, leaving it to Bell on the edge of the box, and he's unlucky not to put it in the back of the net there. The same with the tactics, guys. If you really want to see all my kind of custom setups, you know, throw-ins, things like that, drop a comment down. They're not ones that I kind of go actively looking at, because some of the ones that I've tested are, I would class as, you know, exploits that, especially now that we've got the final match engine, you know, I don't want people, you know, having lots of them. I feel it really kind of ruins the enjoyment of the game some of the times. You know, I've got one that is like, if you get a throw in, it's a key highlight, just because there's that high a chance that it's going to go in the net. So we'll make some subs. We've left it 83rd minute, just because, you know, we've been playing well. We've not had any real reason. But the goal scorer, Adam Armstrong, will come off and he'll move down. Bradley Dack will come off, and in his place will bring on Sam Gallagher. And Charlie McGrew will get a run out at left back to let Bell have a little break. So it looks like the game's just about done. Don't think there's going to be any more after that. Nope, so a 1-0 win at home to Hull. Good result at the end of the day. I will praise the boys for a good win. And we'll look at some of the others. So already some big teams, you know, dropping out. Ipswich to Gillingham. So, you know, Bolton out to Crewe. That was not much of a surprise there, really. A couple of good games there, in all honesty. Stevenage beating MK Dons. Sheffield just beating Sunderland. Some interesting games. So we'll move on. So overall in that game, you know, completely dominated it. Again, looks like it might be a running theme of this season. Hopefully we can add more goals to it as it goes on, as we get more used to the tactics that we're using and things like that. But you know, high possession, high shots, very low for them. The pressing really showed that game as well, obviously. All I would note is, you know, for how much we dominated the game, I've not got majorly high ratings. You know, Bradley Dack, sorry. You know, down in a 6.5 is rather disappointing. I would have expected him a little bit higher, especially, you know, going up. But, you know, Jackson Irvine a 6.7 maybe shows for that. But, you know, the two in front, only 6.4 and 6.5. So, you know, as I say, you know, you can't complain. You're through to the next round of the cup. It's a 1-0 victory. But the fact that we've now scored only one goal and we've arguably been on top 3 games in a row is rather disappointing. Not so much worrying, I'd just say disappointing, because, you know, we're only 3 games into the season and our pre-season shows that we can score goals. So that's been it for this episode. For the next episode, I will probably, as a good milestone, probably take it up to around the start of November, get a good amount of games in, maybe come back to play that Leeds away, or maybe the Birmingham away, big games there. If there's any games you would like to see, drop it down in the comments of this one, and I'll come back sooner. I'm just not wanting to make it too long, you know, with the Leipzig one, it was 8 episodes for a season. I feel like for a Road to Glory, I wouldn't like to do as much. I'm maybe thinking 5-6 episodes for this per season for this. Obviously, if we get into Europe and things like that in the future, then we'll make more episodes per season for that. But probably just have it a running, so instead of seasons, we'll have it just like, you know, episode 1 to 16 kind of thing. But anyway, guys, I've been Keebs. It's been good to have yous, and we'll see you next one. Cheers.